Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club for volume 24 of my Liverpool Football Club, the Retro Series. Welcome back everyone, thanks for being there. I'm penning this 24th volume of my retrospective articles on the mighty Reds of Liverpool in the afterglow of yesterday's 1-0 victory against Manchester City in the Premier League, and so I simply couldn't resist returning once more to an era and to a league very different from today's corporatised worldwide product. On a sunny Saturday afternoon in Manchester over 4 decades ago, and in front of a crowd of over 40,000 at a football ground that no longer exists, Liverpool would inflict upon their hosts a 5-0 defeat that TV commentator Tony Gubba would describe as a crushing and humiliating defeat, and following prior wins in this April week of 1982 against Notts County as well as City's near neighbours Manchester United, this comprehensive win would stretch the Reds' lead at the top of the English First Division to 5 points over their nearest challengers Ipswich Town, and signify a miraculous recovery from 12th position on Boxing Day after that epochal 3-1 home defeat by today's opponents, Manchester City. From 12th place on Boxing Day 1981 to first place in England's Premier League on the 2nd of April 1982, it was quite the turnaround in performances and results from a team with 6 players unaccustomed to winning the First Division title. Bruce Grobbelaar in goal, Mark Lawrenson in defence, midfielders Sammy Lee and Ronnie Whelan, and fledgling attacking strikers Craig Johnston and Ian Rush. And on this day in April 1982, they were joined by league-winning veterans Phil Neal, Alan Kennedy, Phil Thompson, Alan Hansen and Kenny Dalglish. Captain Graham Souness is absent, presumed injured, but with the additions of David Johnson and Terry McDermott, this was the core of 14 or 15 regular players vying for a spot in the starting 11 who'd ripped up the form book since the turn of 1982 and were but a handful of games from securing their 5th league championship in 7 years. On the other side of the ball, the City humiliated here 4 decades ago had one of England's rotational goalkeepers of the time in Joe Corrigan, several members of last season's defeated team in the 1981 FA Cup final at Wembley, as well as 9 players who'd played and won at Anfield 3-1 on that infamous Boxing Day just 4 months ago. From the near 25 minutes of highlights recently seen, it's clear that Manchester City barely pose an attacking threat, one wasted opportunity, and the veteran central defensive duo of Tommy Caton and Kevin Bond are run ragged by the pace of Craig Johnston and Ian Rush, and in a somewhat fiery, tempestuous and controversial game that is aptly summarised by the lead-up to an incredible goal I've loved since my childhood, and one that still astonishes me and pleases me in equal measure. Goal! Manchester City 0, Liverpool 1, lead 8 minutes. With only 8 minutes on the clock, the Reds take the lead from a free kick that I can only describe as a tracer bullet slowly rising perfectly from over 35 yards out and arrowing into the top corner of Joe Corrigan's goal. It's as perfect can be, pure footballing poetry in motion. But until watching these highlights I was completely unaware of the lead up to the award of the free kick itself, and writing this now, how it perfectly encapsulates the somewhat controversial and particularly ill-tempered game that followed it. The free kick itself was awarded following a niggly clash between Reds legend Kenny Dalglish and City's central defender Kevin Bond. With Dalglish prostrate on the ground and the ball between his legs, he rises and seems to lose control of the ball, but with the physical contact continuing with Bond, he petulantly kicks out at the defender deliberately and crudely, giving the referee an opportunity to sternly lecture him on the incident. Presumably the referee had already whistled for the foul on Dalglish prior to his spiteful kick-out at Bond, as the referee still goes in Liverpool's favour, and Sammy Lee drills an unstoppable shot into the roof of the host net, who find themselves trailing 1-0 with less than 10 minutes on the clock. From the resulting kick-off to restart play, the Reds immediately win the ball back through a combination of Ronnie Whelan and Kenny Dalglish, before Alan Kennedy's long through ball splits a wide open defence for Craig Johnston to run clear of Tommy Caton and force a smothering save from Joe Corrigan in the City goal. Pressure mounts on the City defence, and a Mark Lawrenson lob through ball again demonstrates the holes in the Blues defence. Ian Rush is wrestled to the ground inside the penalty area by Tommy Caton for as obvious a penalty as you could wish to see, but the referee bizarrely waves away the minimal Reds protests. However, mere seconds later, Rush and Caton clash again. Goal: Manchester City 0, Liverpool 2, Neil, 42 minutes. As Rush and Caton clash inside the penalty area, the tall City central defender cleanly and clearly wins the ball from the feet of the Red striker, but, as bizarrely as his decision was just seconds earlier, this time the referee points directly to the penalty spot. Phil Neal dispatches his perfectly placed penalty into the top corner of his England teammate Joe Corrigan's net, and the Reds cruise to half-time with a 2-0 lead. The home team Blues commence the second half with a more progressive, aggressive and attacking sense of purpose, forcing corner after corner as well as creating a fantastic goal-scoring opportunity for striker Kevin Reeves. After a sweeping move from the halfway line and a brilliant cross into the penalty area from Steve Kinsey, Reeves dives to head home and just gets underneath the ball to clear the crossbar by a yard or two. Reeves should score, and had he done so, the game and the result could have been so different. From their next attack, the Reds score a third goal, the next a fourth, and the game is now well and truly over as a contest. Goal: Manchester City 0, Liverpool 3, Johnston, 58 minutes. A team move involving players from defence, midfield and attack, and all within 40 yards of the City goal. Phil Thompson, Sammy Lee and Mark Lawrenson all combine to eventually release a pass to Kenny Dalglish, who instantly relays it to the eventual goal scorer, Craig Johnston. The Australian international loops a pass to Ian Rush over the City defence, and with a simple square ball return pass, Rush finds Johnston, who brings the pass under control before shooting under the body of Joe Corrigan. Goal! Manchester City 0, Liverpool 4, Kennedy, 59 minutes. Just a minute later, and after recovering the ball again almost instantly from the kick-off restart, another niggly foul results in a free kick quickly taken, and after exchanging passes with Ronnie Whelan, Alan Kennedy attacks down his favoured left wing. Cutting back inside, his cross shot loops and curves over a stranded Joe Corrigan, and whether Kennedy meant to shoot or not, he didn't. The Reds have instantly doubled their half-time lead to 4-0, and with more than half an hour still left to play, the game was over. Goal! Manchester City 0, Liverpool 5, Rush, 73 minutes. Another team goal and another stretching from back to front, defence to attack, and another example of the glaring holes in the centre of the City defence as they simply can't defend a rudimentary long kick from Bruce Grobbelaar. Craig Johnston wins the initial header and footballing knock down to Ian Rush, who heads into the path of Dalglish before continuing his run through a vacant City defence. Dalglish's looped overhead return pass finds Rush in stride, and with a simple dab of his left foot, he sends the ball past Corrigan in the City goal for a fifth time on a sunny Saturday afternoon in East Manchester. The humiliation is complete. City would ultimately end the season in 10th place and fully 29 points behind their victors today, and a Reds team just a month, 6 wins and 3 draws from their remaining 9 league games of the season away from winning their 5th league championship in 7 years and 13th all-time league title in their illustrious history. And that was volume 24 of Liverpool Football Club, the Retro Series, in support of my self-published book, Chasing the Impossible and the Sword of Damocles. It's the best book on Liverpool Football Club you're never going to read, but go on. Prove me wrong. I've got a frog in my throat. Prove me wrong. Go on, treat yourselves. Merry Christmas. Peace, everyone, and solidarity. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, thank you so much for watching. Peace, everyone. And please be careful out there.